Hey everybody, welcome back to another video on the channel. In today's video we are going to be talking about loadout drops within Warzone 2. So we have some new leaks that came out earlier today on Twitter, and we had some new screenshots leaked of Warzone 2, and it is of loadout drops returning. So there was kind of a little bit going on about this in the community back with Call of Duty Next, where the developers in Infinity Ward, they said that, they didn't want to have loadout drops in the game. You weren't going to have loadout drops within Warzone 2. And then after that, they put out another thing saying that, they're actually going to go back on a lot of stuff and make some changes and stuff. Because, we had parts of the community that were complaining about it, essentially. And so, supposedly they were going back on their stance and they were going to include loadout drops again. But it was still kind of uncertain. Well, here we go with these leaks. It basically confirms loadout drops are back in Warzone 2. So that's what I want to talk about today, is loadout drops, as well as kind of Warzone 2 as a whole, and kind of get your guys' opinion on this, because I'm going to come out here on a limb and I'm just going to say loadout drops do not belong in Warzone 2. And I really don't understand the decision to include them again. I saw a great tweet earlier today. This person says, I feel like we could have at least tried Warzone 2 with no loadouts first. And I agree. I think, hey, why not at least try it out? Why can't we just try out no loadouts? And then if the community really hates it or whatever, hey, then after a week, put them back in or whatever. Just at least try it out, see how the game plays. But seriously, my whole thing about this, I guess my general point I want to get across here is that Warzone 2 is a separate game than Warzone 1. I do not understand why we need to have the exact same game over again. I don't get why everybody wants Warzone 2 to play exactly like Warzone 1. Oh, I don't know why we need to have bunny hopping and slide canceling, all this stuff again in Modern Warfare 2, but then also in Warzone 2. I don't know why we need loadout drops again in Warzone 2. Why can't it be a new game? Like, honestly, I don't understand this. I don't understand the community, and I also don't understand the developers in this, because to me it makes no sense that, hey, if you want to keep playing Warzone, then just keep playing Warzone. There's still millions of people playing Warzone, so it's like, if you like the bunny hopping, you like the movement, you like loadout drops, you like how Warzone plays, well then great. You can still play Warzone for at least, they haven't given an official timeline for how long it'll be supported, but, kind of the rumors and stuff going around is that it'll be at least a year for that Warzone 1 will still be around before they eventually just and turn off the servers for it. But, still, it's like, dude, if you want to play Warzone 1, go play Warzone 1. I don't understand why we have to make this new game identical to it. Just for what? It plays on the exact same console, so it's not like it's next-gen exclusive, and you'll still be able to rank up and do all this stuff too. So it's like, so what's the point, dude? What's the point of having a new game, having Warzone 2, if it's going to play and you're going to make all the exact same decisions you did in Warzone 1? And my biggest issue, I think, with the loadout drops is I think it kills a lot of the aspects of a Battle Royale. I think it completely gets rid of the whole looting aspect, because in Warzone there is no point in you finding anything off the ground. There's no point in you going and looting at all. It's literally just, okay, pick up whatever gun you can and then just try and get as many kills with it or whatever, and then just boom, then just buy your loadout drop, get your loadout, and then you're just set for the rest of the game. What fun is that? Because for the rest of your game, you are set up and you have your weapons, you have your equipment, you have armor, you have everything you need, and at that point, all you're doing is what? Just getting more money, getting streaks, and getting kills, and just trying to survive to the final circle? To me, that's no fun. Personally, I preferred Blackout. I think Blackout is Call of Duty's pinnacle Battle Royale, because to me, it was way more fun to play a Battle Royale game where you were looting the whole match, and every time you ended up killing somebody, you'd always go over and you'd loot their body, loot their bag. Okay, what does this guy have? Oh, this guy had some really great attachments. I must take those attachments and put those on my gun and build my gun. That way, by the time you get to the end of the game, you have something that potentially, you have a really good gun that would give you an advantage over other people. Or, maybe you don't have a good gun, but you still manage to clutch up a win. I think something like that just adds such a better element to a Battle Royale game than just, oh, hey, I got my loadout within the first 3 minutes of a match, and now I'm just going to sit and camp in a building for another 15 minutes until the final circle, and then boom, I got like 2 kills and I won. Like, where's the fun in that? To me, that makes absolutely no sense. I'd rather go around, loot things, build my loadout, build my class, actually feel like I'm progressing in this Battle Royale within this match. And, people say, like, oh, yeah, no, but that's like how every other Battle Royale is. Yeah, that's the point. That's what a Battle Royale game mode should be, is about looting and is about surviving and making yourself better up until the final circle, right? Like, there's already enough new changes with Warzone 2 with the multiple final circles that I think that it's like, dude, we don't need to have loadouts back. Why don't we try all this stuff out new before we just immediately revert back to how Warzone 1 was? Like, it just makes absolutely no sense to me, dude. And I think that the community, by and large, is still going to find anything to complain about with the game. But still, I'm just like, come on, dude. From what it sounded like when the Battle Royale, when Warzone 2 was being first leaked, as well as when it was first announced, it really, to me, sounded a lot like Blackout. It sounded like Infinity Ward just going, okay, you know what? Blackout was actually a really solid Battle Royale. And what if we just basically take Blackout, but we put it on a new engine, and we also put it crossplay? Because honestly, I think that was Blackout's biggest flaw, was that it was stuck behind a $60 paywall. I think if Blackout was not, you know, a $60 paywall, if it was a free-to-play game, then I think Blackout would have been the Call of Duty Battle Royale instead of Warzone. I think that was just its biggest flaw, was that it was paid, and so not enough people actually tried it or gave it credit, because, you know, they didn't like Black Ops 4 for whatever reason, so they're like, oh, I'm not going to try Blackout. But, I mean, Warzone did bring some good elements to the table, I will admit. The Gulag is a great new addition to the Battle Royale genre, and being able to redeploy, stuff like that, as well as, I mean, even like Rebirth Island and stuff, where you actually get like multiple respawns, stuff like that, Resurgence, all that stuff is really great. But I still think, why can't we loot? To me, loadout drops completely ruin the aspect of looting. There is no point in me ever picking up any gun off of the ground, because my loadout drop will always be the king. And it also, to me, almost turns Warzone into a giant multiplayer sweatfest where everybody just goes onto YouTube and just finds, oh, okay, what's the new Warzone meta? What's the best weapon? And everybody just throws that weapon on, and that's all anybody ever uses. I mean, how many times have you guys gotten killed in Warzone with a Swiss or some of these other meta weapons? Like, that's all it is. That's all Warzone turns out, is every single time a new update comes out, it's, okay, what's the new meta? What got buffed? What got changed? Okay, and then everybody rocks that meta. Everybody runs that weapon. Everybody just watches YouTube videos and TikToks of, okay, who's the new best weapon for Warzone, and everybody just slaps it on their class, and then that's it, and then they call it a day. Nobody wants to actually try out new weapons. Nobody wants to actually experiment with different things. But that's the whole point of a battle royale, in my opinion, is when the game forces you to actually go around and build your own class. You might build, you know, some random SMG, but you might be able to stack a ton of really good attachments on it that it might be able to beat out, like an M4, or it might be able to beat out an M16 or something like that. And to me, that's the most fun, is building your class and actually setting up something that you can do well with, and it gives you a chance to experiment and use unconventional weapons, because, you know, you're going to use something, and hey, it's like, oh, dude, I just killed a guy. Like, imagine back with Blackout, if you guys play Blackout, like back in Blackout, like if you got a kill with an Essex, dude, you were like a god. Like, that thing was such a trash weapon, but if you managed to get a kill with it, then it was great. And there was still some meta weapons even in Blackout. You know, the ABR when the game first came out was insane. But to me, I mean, that was just like, hey, it made you want to search around and actually loot to try to find that weapon. So it's like, okay, hey, we need to go loot all these buildings. We need to go search in this area and see if we can find this weapon. Okay, I'm going to, you know, go and search through all these boxes. If you find an enemy who has it, you're going to hurry and try and kill him, and then go over and you're going to take his weapon. But in Warzone, there's no element of that. There's no element of coming around, killing a guy, and looting him. There's absolutely no point other than just taking his ammo and the money that they have. And that's it. Because you already have your weapon, you already have your secondary, you already have your perks, you already have your equipment, you already have everything set up the way you want it. And there's no point in actually changing anything other than right when you get your loadout. So I think, if anything, I think a better option would be, okay, maybe there's only one loadout per game and it doesn't happen until like the third to final circle. I think that would be a benefit, is if you slowed down the loadout drops so they didn't drop so freaking fast, or you couldn't buy them. Or how about you also increase the price on them as well? I think there's a lot of options here that, even if they do want to still include loadouts, that they could do to slow it down and make it not so crazy like Warzone 1 was. But we're going to continue on here with another leak. This is coming from Ghost of Hope. We've covered a lot of his leaks and stuff on the channel. He says here in regards to this, the loadout drop in Warzone 2.0 will be a free world drop. Loadouts won't be buyable. So, okay, so does that mean that there will just be one loadout drop that will just be happening throughout the world? I mean, to me, that's good. He says that it won't be buyable, so thank you. That would make it so much better. But still, I am so disappointed in loadouts in general. But if this is the way it is, I could see this being a step forward. I just think that, hey, like, I agree with that first person's tweet. Why couldn't we have at least tried this out? You know, why couldn't we have just tried out Warzone without a loadout and then just see from there? You know, if the community really hates it, then whatever, sure, fine, change it back. But seriously, I still just don't get it. I'm like, I don't know why the Call of Duty community has to have Warzone 2 be exactly identical to Warzone 1. Like, everybody wants Verdansk to come back again. And I'm like, dude, why can't we have new maps? Like this, I don't know, dude, this is the whole thing with the Call of Duty community, is every time a new game comes out, you have people who are like, oh my gosh, this new game is trash. Why don't you just add the old maps back in? But then if you add the old maps back in, then it's like, what's the point of having a new game? If you're just going to play on old maps with old weapons, then you might as well go and play the old game. So it's the same thing with Warzone 2. If we're going to have all the exact same mechanics from Warzone 1, then what's the point of having a new game? There's literally no point. It's super dumb in my opinion, but I mean, maybe there's still a possibility that Infinity Ward could create a new spin-off Battle Royale mode, just kind of like how they have Resurgence or they have Plunder or something like that, where it's like classic Battle Royale, where you go around and you actually loot for your weapons, you actually go around and you build your classes before actually just only, you know, taking a loadout drop and then boom, just being set with it. So personally, that's what I would like to play more, but I'm kind of curious what you guys think about this. I know it's kind of a ranty video, but honestly, I kind of wanted to vent my frustrations with this because this whole system is dumb. I've reiterated myself multiple times here, but like I said, why do we have to have a new game to have the exact same old features in it? Why can't we just create a new game with new features? If you like the old one, you like the way the old one plays, great. Continue playing it. Nobody's stopping you from continuing to play Warzone 1. Absolutely nobody is stopping you. But for us to handicap the new game just to be identical to the previous one sucks. So that's my spiel on this. What do you guys think about this? I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this in the comments down below. I still have yet to hear a good opinion as why Warzone should have loadouts. So if you guys have an actual like good take on this, a good reasoning for why loadouts should exist within Warzone, let me know in the comments down below, because to me this is just super frustrating. And it just breaks a whole genre of Battle Royale. You know, to me, Warzone is not a Battle Royale game. It honestly feels more like just a bigger version of Ground War, a bigger version of multiplayer than it does an actual survival Battle Royale. But that's going to do it, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. Warzone 2 will be dropping here in, 10 days on November 16th. So next Wednesday is when Warzone 2, as well as Season 1, will drop for Modern Warfare 2. We've got also a lot of information about Warzone 2 and Modern Warfare 2 coming up here with Season 1, about new fixes, new changes, new stuff coming to the game, as well as new ranks and stuff, maybe new maps, lots of new crazy stuff about it. So make sure you guys get subscribed. You guys don't miss out on any new videos. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.